When I see this guy, you know what I think? Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
okay. We're going to start with the main course for the alternative Thanksgiving. And Danny has a truly radical replacement for mine for turkey. But before we unveil this thing of beauty, let's take a look at how it came together. We sent our own Griffin Hammond to capture the making of a Thanksgiving miracle.
So what we're working on today is my version of what I like to take to the Thanksgiving dinner table, which is something besides turkey. Cooking a turkey for a chef is kind of boring. So what I do is I smoke a whole entire pastrami. I take that entire pastrami with me and just pop it out whenever it's time to eat. Pastrami is just a cured piece of brisket. It's basically like a pickled cured meat. It's going to take about 12 hours to smoke gently and cook all the way through. These are all the spices. I've got chili de árbol powder, cumin powder, some ground cloves, guajillo chili, chorizo spice, and some ground coffee. So we put them in a blender and blend them up. It comes out looking like something like this, which is like a dried rub. So this is just yellow mustard. I use Dijon mustard. Apply a fairly generous coat of mustard. It's going to make the brisket, it's going to yield a lot of flavor. I like to put the rub in a shaker, and I'll just kind of evenly apply this rub all over the pastrami. Generously salt this pastrami as well. As the brisket smokes and steams on itself, all the moisture in the mustard will kind of evaporate and form a nice crust. So this will set for a minimum of 12 hours, and I like to leave it in the refrigerator uncovered like this. We have a really fancy smoker. You probably don't have this at home. If you do, you're very lucky. And in the chamber, we put a little bit of wood, some wood chips. This will smoke for about 12 hours or so. Could be any easier. You just slide this right in. So yeah, really, really simple. We'll see what it looks like in 12 hours.
Yeah.
So. And tomorrow at the show, it'll actually be awesome.
Man, that is awesome. All right, Danny Bowien, that looked fantastic. And here it is on the plate, on the table, ready to go. Talk us through this thing. Once you've done everything you just showed us in the film, what do you do next?
So we do this, we basically, we take the whole thing after it comes out of the smoker. I like to wrap it in a little bit of foil and just keep it warm. And then we dress it up with a bunch of different condiments. At the Mexican restaurant at Mission Cantina, we use some of the mole spice that we smoked it with. So this is basically ground up coffee, chili powders, all the stuff that's in a traditional Mexican mole sauce, right, but dried up spicy.
Right. I'm
going to dress it up for you. So I like to put some of this on here.
Yeah.
And then we have some pickled red onions. Just pickle these with lime juice and habaneros.
This is some serious.
Okay, so
this is definitely not traditional Thanksgiving.
This is serious. Now, Danny, you grew up in Oklahoma, right?
Yes.
Okay,
I would have guessed that.
So did your mom teach you to make this for Thanksgiving?
No. So I grew up in a very typical, traditional, dried turkey stuffing, thing. So for me, the whole idea of people always, as a chef, people wanted you to cook turkey on Thanksgiving, and I can do that, but it's just kind of boring. And I think it's funner to be a little irreverent and come out with a huge pastrami and put it on the table.
I tell you this now, Ruhle, I want you to eat that right now. As soon as it's ready,
what is this?
So this is hot sauce. We make a bunch of homemade chili vinegar. You can
How
taste
hot?
it. Pretty hot. And then some cotija cheese.
Woo! The cotija cheese. Bring that over. Bring that over. Stephanie Ruhle needs that.
You need this.
Eat that. Come on, get that up there. You eat that.
There you go.
I want to talk about.
This hot sauce is kicking it.
While Stephanie eats this, I want to ask you about. So Mission Chinese, you started how long ago?
Well, it started almost 5 years ago in San Francisco.
Right, and then the New York branch opened up.
New York opened in 2012.
Okay.
And we're moving to a new location in Seward Park in Manhattan, and it'll be open before Christmas.
Thank God, because I'll tell you, the thing about this pastrami is that the core of the pastrami is the key to one of the great Chinese dishes ever. It's not really traditional.
Well,
that Kung Pao pastrami.
Yeah. So we were, the way that we started messing on pastrami. I grew up in Oklahoma, so there's lots of smoked meats and barbecue. We're sandwiched between Texas and Kansas. So there's two great, amazing barbecue states, and then Oklahoma falls kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And at Mission Chinese,
Oklahoma known for its fine cuisine.
And in San Francisco, at Mission Chinese, the original one, which is located inside of another Chinese restaurant, we didn't have a lot of space to cook. So we bought an electric smoker and started smoking pastrami. That's kind of how the dish came about. We were like, well, we want to make Kung Pao something. But we couldn't just make Kung Pao chicken. We wanted to do, originally it was going to be Kung Pao bacon.
What's a restaurant inside a restaurant?
Well, I mean, I think they call it a pop-up. Usually it's you would go help. The restaurant we found, it was a Chinese family. They weren't very busy. And they were just hanging out playing mahjong, and my partner asked them, seriously,
Yeah.
asked them if we could come in and kind of occupy their space, rent their space from them. They hired us as their chefs, and we just messed around and made things like kung pao pastrami.
But your business model, hold on, you guys are mission-based, correct? Tom Shoe style?
Yeah, so Mission Chinese is in the Mission, on 18th and Mission in San Francisco.
I got to ask you a quick question. We've got one more minute, but I want to talk about this a little bit. I mean, I've been to the one in San Francisco many times and the one here. You guys have always had kind of like a kind of ground level political thing, which is you're taking a slice of profits or revenues and distribute it to food banks and soup kitchens. Talk about that a little bit, where that came from.
We've always donated 75 cents from each entree sold at Mission Chinese food to a food-based charity. In San Francisco, we donate to the SF food banks, and we've donated over $300,000. It's just our way of giving back to, to be able to give back and help out in any way possible. And it's crazy because it's who thought we could do that selling Chinese food?
You are not a political guy, but that's kind of there's a kind of core, kind of like a grassroots political component to that. That's kind of admirable in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's something that we wanted to do is important to us. Cooking is we do it for lots of reasons, but if we can help other people while feeding other people, that's important.
Do you live the American dream?
I hope so.
Well,
I think so. I just had a son, so
He did?
Yeah.
Congratulations.